Hello.
And that'll be used in a video somewhere.
All right. Hello and welcome. We are Three Brothers, and today we're going to be talking about our first impressions of Final Fantasy 15. Right away, it's a fun game worthy of the Final Fantasy name, and that's how we're going to start. But we're just going to dive right into it. This is going to be a quick overview. I am 13 hours in, level 21. You are?
Like 11 hours in, level 23.
8 hours, 15.
So,
Just got to 15.
a plethora of different things. Initially, I like the story, and I like the characters, which is the thing I was worried about most. Story-wise, I'm still a little, it's very simple, which I like.
Yeah.
Not going to do any spoilers or anything, but yeah, it's just like, you start, oh, I know exactly what's going on. All right, here we go. Everybody's saying, like, you need to watch Kingslave and Brotherhood to get more out of it. I was like, I don't really need that at this point, so I'm okay there.
Yeah, I kind of feel like an interesting comparison that I wanted to throw at it was I kind of feel like it's doing what Metal Gear Solid 5 did to Metal Gear, to like Final Fantasy, what this one's doing to that. The story's there. It doesn't feel like, you're not watching crazy long cutscenes like you have in the past with Final Fantasy. But yeah, so far for me, I feel like, there's definitely some lip sync issues. There's times where guys, they're not even working. I expect that. That's fine. There's some glitches that happen every once in a while. It's an open world game. That's going to happen. And I feel like they could have, and maybe I'm too early into it. I feel like it's not quite finished yet. Like maybe there's some stuff they rushed, which is odd to say in a game that took them over 10 years to make. Yeah. But on top of all that, I'm addicted. It's hitting a chord with me. I'm loving it. And, again, we're early on, but we'll keep going.
Okay, I guess I was going to say for the second video, but if you did a game comparison, I would say this Final Fantasy is a Far Cry version of Final Fantasy.
Far Cry.
Yeah,
interesting.
Because you just get, it's like, oh, you talk to a guy, oh, you get this camp, you get that camp, go here, do those things, just like Far Cry. You do this, you get those items, blah, blah, blah. It seems it's very reminiscent of Far Cry for me.
Yeah, and I think like you hit on it real quick. I was worried about a couple of the characters initially, and like the banter that happens when you're just, and that's why I love just running around. On top of the fact that it increases your survival skill, but I love the banter that kind of happens between your characters, and I think the mechanic of those pictures being taken is absolutely fantastic.
That's like my favorite part of the game.
I love just going to sleep at night.
Is there a way to influence the pictures?
Well,
no.
you can, but you can turn off different filters. Like there's like at certain, I think it's level 3 or 4. Like he does selfies of himself. You can, if you don't like that, you can shut that off.
Or different filters. Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So basically, what happens is you go to sleep at camp, and Prompto always takes pictures, and it basically you can save the pictures, you can share them on social media. I thought it was going to be like the dumbest thing, but it's my favorite thing about the game right now.
My favorite thing is by far fishing so far. Even like I just think fishing is awesome.
I've spent too much time. I think
That's the weird thing. Like
it's not
these mundane things that you think would be so stupid. Like everybody's complaining that it's like a boy band together, but that's like one of my favorite things. Doing the fishing, doing the hunts.
I think they did just to like make fun of themselves, is because everyone's making fun of them because like, oh, they look like a boy band or whatever, and they're wearing like those jackets and whatever. But if you're running around, like one guy's like, oh, I'm really hot, and he's like, oh, take off your jacket.
Yeah,
that made me laugh.
I think something that I found really interesting too is like I've noticed that because of that mentality, I'm sometimes treating it like it was a group of my friends, and so like when we stop at places, like I'm actually buying all the ingredients for different meals to make, and then plan like. This is maybe just me, but like I will at camp at night be like, okay, this is what I want to eat tonight, and it's not always about okay, here's the bonuses it gives me. It's like, no, we had that last night. Let's eat something else. Like that's ridiculous to say, but I'm doing it, and
that's
so
cool,
there's something to say about that.
So I think it's a definitely a different take on Final Fantasy, but it still has the lore hidden in there. I really like that. There's only 6 summons in the game. It sounds like, and each one is represented as a god, and there's just some cool things. And once you get to chapter 3, I think that's where the game really starts to take off, because now
you can go back to old areas and new areas.
Yeah, you can go to the new areas and the old. And I feel like deliberately they made the world really cool. Like every little thing about it seems pretty awesome. Like
I can't go too far into it because I've just got there.
I know, and like I mean I've just gone down to that one area, but. And for me, the big thing, too, is they really reward exploring and, like, looking around nooks and crannies because they hide. That's an actual thing I was going to talk about, too. And, we can wrap this video up. But they, a lot of people I heard that were complaining about, they got rid of like treasure chests. If you think about like the number of just hidden things that you find all over the place, like just removing the treasure chest animation, I think is actually ingenious. Can you imagine how much time
there was
you could have spent?
A lot of stuff to find.
True.
Yeah, I agree.
But we didn't really talk about, going off first impressions, combat.
Oh yeah, I actually really like it. I was surprised. It seems kind of simple in some things, but there is a little bit more of depth between like the accessories you can put on. I think that affects combat a little bit, but I really like the warp strike. I feel super powerful when you're flying around. And one of the first times when you're in a story mission and you're just with you and one other person and you're going through and fighting all the soldiers and the music's playing, I was like, okay, this feels awesome. I just feel good, like warping up to snipers, taking them down, coming back, throwing like fire. So I'm okay with the combat. I like it so far.
I'll say I think it's really simple, but I think that's a good thing because this game is catered to old Final Fantasy fans, but it's definitely more catered towards new Final Fantasy fans. And I am intrigued by the elemency system because I was reading up on it previously, but it's like how to actually get higher level magic and stuff like that seems like it could be pretty intricate later on. But
I guess for me, and you kind of hit on it initially, was it's they open up the game with this is a Final Fantasy for old fans and new, fans and new. And for me, like the combat, I heard a lot of complaints. People talked about how it's more, just you hold one button, your guy does everything he needs.
So much different than hitting X to attack and then X.
Exactly.
And
exactly. And for me though, like to me, it's more about being the one that parrying and blocking. You actually have to plan out what you're going to do. The mob fights, the little ones, you can go in and just jump all over the place, but that's cool. It makes you feel powerful. I like that. The bigger fights, you have to plan. You have to set aside your link strikes and all that.
You use wait mode. Do you use wait mode?
I did initially. As of right now, I haven't been. Typically, when I get to a mob that I don't really know what's going on, and that's again because I spent so much time.
That makes sense.
I spent so much time in Chapter 2 that I kind of knew exactly who I was fighting, except for when night happened, when you just run for your life. Now that I'm in the Chapter 3, I will be going back to wait mode for a little while because I like being able to do the initial scan. And once I get comfortable with everybody, I go back.
And we'll talk about that more in our little in-depth video.
And we'll definitely talk about like the sphere grid and stuff like that, but we'll save that for
all right. Sounds cool.
Later.
Well, that's our first impressions. We're liking the game. I'm excited to keep playing it, and I've been staying up till like 4 a.m. twice in a row. I can't stop playing the game. So until next time, we are 3 Brothers.
Peace.